Tank Girl is a British comic character created by Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett in the late 1980s and whose collector's adventures first appeared in book form in the early 1990s. Whether it counts as a graphic novel is open to discussion. To deny it that status wouldn't be to call its quality into question, simply to recognise that its fans might not be happy for it to appear under that banner. It might imply a certain disrespect, in other words. The Tank Girl stories have very little plot. They focus on a young woman, a kangaroo who's also her boyfriend, and a tank, which is also her home. Their importance lies partly in the way they epitomise a certain current within British culture, the alternative, radical punk scene, which was already at least a decade old when Tank Girl appeared, but all the more firmly established and louder for that. It's the artwork that makes Tank Girl so powerful. On the other hand, she is inseparable from the narratives. Tank Girl represents a current within the history of English protest which stands up to authority by refusing to take anything seriously, including itself, a counterpart to some of the ranters or screaming lords such, which is one of the reasons, I think, why its cultural significance hasn't been more generally acknowledged. It played an important part in the history of sexual politics in this country. This was the era of Mrs. Thatcher's Clause 28, which forbade the promotion of homosexuality in schools, meaning effectively that teachers had to pretend it didn't exist. Tank Girl was part of the resistance to that and was recognised as such at the time. She's had a long life. A Hollywood film was made based on the books, which did the books virtually no justice at all. Several new Tank Girl books have appeared since the original author stopped collaborating in 1995. They're good, but in my view rather like band reunions of ageing rock stars, slicker than they used to be, but not quite as magical. The best are the first three.